I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up the USA view. California Councilmember faces backlash for linking high school trauma to daughter's sexuality. A California City Councilwoman and mayor is under fire after comments she made to a high school conservative club were shared online, angering LGBTQ advocates, students, and families. Lincoln City Councilwoman Holly Andreatta told students at 12 Bridges High School's new club, America, that trauma in her daughter's childhood led to her being gay.
My oldest daughter had a lot of trauma as a child. Something really terrible happened to her when she was very young that I would hope never would happen to any other child. And as a result of it, she's a lesbian, she's gay, and she's married to a woman. And sometimes that's a little bit of internal struggle for me, because I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, and I believe that scripture is very clear on homosexuality. But on the other side of that, I love her dearly. We are in relationship. And that's what Charlie Kirk's message was, is like, we may not agree. My daughter knows where I stand biblically, but I love her. We're actually going to spend Christmas with her in Missouri. We love her, and we have a child, and I love my grandchild. And I love my daughter-in-law, which is weird to say, right? My daughter's married to a woman. Do you know Christian nationalist and all these names? That's just a name that the left made up to silence people. I am a Christian and I love my nation. Okay, if I'm a Christian nationalist, but they use it in a negative way. But people are afraid to have those labels. Now, let me just clarify. We need to love everybody. We do not need to discriminate. You may not agree with somebody's lifestyle, but we love them and we're kind to them. You can have a difference of opinion. It doesn't mean that you're hateful.
In the same talk, she called Martin Luther King Jr. a Marxist and said his civil rights work was not really helpful. After the video spread, Andreatta first claimed it had been altered by artificial intelligence, writing, quote, "I am the same person I've always been, kind, principled, inclusive, and committed to respectful dialogue," end quote. She later apologized, saying, quote, "I want to publicly apologize to my daughter. To be absolutely clear, I did not say that trauma causes homosexuality," end quote. Students and families have since called for the club's disbandment and for Andreatta to be censored, while school officials say the club cannot be banned. Well, my goodness, she's a confused individual. I would not want to be spending time with a relative if I had someone like that in my family. And while it's, I guess, positive that she's saying she loves her daughter and her grandchild, you know, obviously her message is there and it's not 100% in. That's not true definition of family. You love unconditionally.
Yeah, except that it's not love unconditionally. First of all, Club America by TPUSA. This is another one from Turning Point USA. Let's not pretend to be anything otherwise. This is another new effort to raise another generation of young right-wing activists.
Absolutely.
And second, let's face it, this woman doesn't really love her daughter. She loves the fact that she can trot her out as an example of, oh, look how tolerant I am. I have a lesbian daughter. But to say that her sexuality is informed by trauma growing up, you're her mother. So are you the cause of the trauma? I mean, is that...
It would be nice to know what you...
Yeah, I can imagine living with her would be traumatic. So I could imagine.
And you were laughing entirely.
Well, hearing her was quite laughable, but at the same time, like, I do feel, it's not, normally I'm trying to do the dark one, like everything's wrong with the world, but like, this is probably the most progress I've seen of the LGBTQ community, because like, 15 years ago, we would have been like, it's so nice that she's getting past her biblicalness and like showing how she still loves her daughter and accepts her daughter-in-law as her daughter-in-law. We would have gone that way. We would, and for those of you that don't believe me, go Google stuff that we used to write 15, 20 years ago. And just to see us to finally be like, no, this is like really effed up. Why on earth would we say this is okay? So I'm proud of our community for acknowledging how problematic she is. But at the same time, a part of me is also like, don't we all have that one relative that's a little messed up in this way? And we just feel like, couldn't we just help them just not be this bad? Like, that's sort of the vibe I'm getting. But she's an elected official, so like, she'll get crucified, but hey, she's a Christian nationalist, so she wants to be crucified, right?
Exactly. I mean, and that's the other thing too. The whole, her spiel about like, oh, I'm Christian and I love my country. That doesn't make you a Christian nationalist. Christian nationalist has a very specific agenda, which is to impose a radical version of evangelical Christianity and its morals onto on the social fabric of the United States. That's a very different thing. I just want to make it clear. And secondly, I want to bet $1 on it that she finally apologized after her daughter threatened to basically kick her out of holiday dinner.
We haven't addressed the Martin Luther King comments, one, I'm not shocked that Republicans are starting to and conservatives are starting to attack Martin Luther King more because he was a huge critic of capitalism and of the way that we treat black people in this country. Two things the Republican Party is very into. When King was shot, it was protesting for janitorial workers.
Yeah.
When he was in jail once, he found out how much the jailer was making, and he's like, okay, you got to get out there and march with us. You're not being paid enough, because they were the poor people's movement at the end of the day. It was about fighting racism and classism. So I'm not surprised that she's using this Marxist language to describe King.
For those who maybe couldn't see it in the story, but really important for here in South Florida, she was standing in front of a sign that said, pero. Pero, this entire story was very, very off-putting on her commentary around what it means to have an LGBTQ daughter, and the saying that, oh yes, I love her, but I love her, pero she's a lesbian. I love my daughter-in-law, pero it's very odd that I'm a Christian and I love my gay children. It is not odd. It is insulting, and your daughter should be ashamed. And the only thing that I think was written by AI was probably that apology letter. So thank you, pero no gracias. So I hope she enjoys her holiday with her lesbian daughter and daughter-in-law. I'm sure that'll be a really warm place around the fire, right? Fun times. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.